Alrighty, going to be doing a couple of these training tutorials on Playbills. This one I'm going to be talking about spawning units and moving the units. So let's get started. So basically what I do usually when I'm doing testing of new Playbills and stuff, I'll just create a new map, call it whatever it is I'm trying to do, so test spawn. That way when I go to test it, I can just search under all the tests and there's spawn and this and that and everything else. Anywho, so to get started, making these really short, hopefully around 10-15 minutes, not a little bit quicker, but in your prefabs, this is your playbills. Basically all I'm going to do is right click, hit add a playbill. First thing you want to do is always name your playbills. So this is going to be playbill spawn, and I'll just make it Rangers. I'm going to spawn Rangers. So that's just naming it. Has no effect for in-game play, but it's helpful when you have a whole bunch of playbills. Next, going here, click add, and open this up. So the condition is what will happen to make these Rangers appear. For this purposes, I'm just going to have no condition. Going to have action here. Add. Here's my action. Simply go into all the different actions here, and there's going to be one called spawn squads. What you see is all the different defaults for this. I don't touch most of it unless I'm doing like horde maps or something crazy. So first thing you want to do is player. So player 1, 3, 5, and 7 is team 1. Player 2, 4, 6, 8 is team 2. So I'm going to have it as an enemy, team 2, and I want to select here the Rangers. So simply go into range and go into where the troops are and look for the Rangers, and that's selecting Rangers. So Rangers are going to spawn, and what I want to do here is click spawn AI lock. If you don't do this, the AI, computer generic AI, is going to take over the unit and do whatever it wants with it. It's not going to follow anything that you tell it to do. So spawn AI lock basically dumbs them down. So they don't do anything unless you tell them to do something. Of course, they're still going to attack if they're in range, but other than that, they're not going to do anything. Next thing I can do is I can add an upgrade to the unit if I wanted to. So just click in a dot dot dot, go into Americans, and you look for anything that says Ranger. So that's a bad example. Ranger lead the way, stuff like that. So you can just kind of go Ranger and see what it comes up with. That's totally optional. Don't need to do it. You can do it later on, etc., etc. This is basically default is 0. This basically means how many actual units are going to spawn within the squad. If you want to change this and make it so only one unit does, then you can just change that. Number of squads that spawn, by default 1. I could have 5 different squads spawn. I tend to avoid doing this because then what happens is you have blobs walking around. It's kind of annoying. And of course you can change the event rankency, paint that. The rest of it, don't worry about. What is important though is the position. So where are they going to spawn? So you can have them spawn in an E group. That would be like in a building or a vehicle. Position where it's going to go, and you can have it go to an S group. So spawn on another S group. For purposes of this, I'm just going to go here and select where it's going to go, right? So I want it to spawn right here, face that way. See the little lines there? It says where it's going to go. So there is a start and a destination position, so it can start here and up here. I don't use this because it conflicts with when I want to move them and stuff like that. So I'd rather just have full control from the start. So these would usually be at the edge of the map type thing. So spawn. So display name is really important. And basically what I do is I'll just say spawn ranger so I know what it is. And last but not least, probably the most important thing is you want to name this entity that you are spawning. So I'm going to name just this as Ranger 1. And that's important because anytime you want to do any move commands, attack commands, garrison commands, etc., etc., you have to be able to identify the unit that you're spawning, and you do that by the S group name. Really important. So copy, keep that in your clipboard so you can paste it later. Right, so the only other thing I need to do for this example is go into Playbills, don't start automatically, so immediately selecting that. And again, this is just for the testing purposes of spawning units. So when the game starts, this unit will spawn right here, and it will just sit there and do absolutely nothing. What I'm going to do next is make a move. So add another playbill. I'm just going to have it wait. Wait is always good. Basically, that means wait 5 seconds, because how playbills work is they always start from the top and go down. So spawn ranger, wait 5 seconds, and then we're going to have it move. And attack move. Here it is, attacker S group. So who is going to be moving? Ranger 1. Because if you remember, I called this guy Ranger 1. Okay. Another thing I usually do too is I'll use that variable for that group as the display name. So it's easy to track here. Right? So spawn Ranger 1, wait 5 minutes, 5 seconds, and attack move Ranger 1. Right? And this is where it's going to go. Attack position. We're going to have it walk all the way down to here. Okay. So basically, it spawns. You wait 5 minutes, and then it's going to attack move down to here. Right. Once it gets there, again, because I have this set to spawn AI lock, it's not going to do anything when it gets there. It's just going to stop and wait for enemies or whatever to come there. Of course, I can clone this. I can clone this. And I can have it move over here if I wanted to. It's just using this example of how the wait commands work. I'll move these 20 seconds. Spawn, wait 5 seconds, attack move to there, wait 20 seconds, attack move to there. Okay, really, really simple. If I want to be really mean to the players, I can go here and I can do a loop. Basically just means repeat. Right, so it's going to go here, it's going to go here. I'll do another wait 20 minutes and it's going to go there. And then again, this can be spawning rangers. I can spawn anything I want. And right here, you can pick your race, whatever you want. You can pick vehicles, team weapons, anything you want. Place infantry, etc., etc. So let's see what this looks like in the game itself. So let's give it a test here. Open up the game. Also, when you start doing playbills and start doing a lot of them, it's going to cover the map with all these lines. You can hide these lines, of course, but if I'm in the mode for not doing playbills and just working on the map itself, of course I can just hide it so it doesn't even show up. Right? what's going on with the game here. First time it loads takes a while. There we go. I'm gonna go test the map, which I don't think I even built. So let me just check to make sure I built it. And I didn't even build it. See? Let's try this again. Let's close this. Don't forget to build your mod. It doesn't do anything unless you build it. So, first little mistake there. And let's go back to Company of Heroes 3. It should load a lot faster now. These little green boxes are just showing you for the Essence editor where this entity is. I usually put these on the outside, by the way. So I'll either put them in the area that they're going, or I'll put them outside just so I can see them as they line up with the names, because they can get kind of confusing after a while. And again, it's really important to name your playbills. I always start with PB underscore and then what it is, so I know it's a playbill. So when I'm looking it up later on, I know exactly what it is and how to use it. Alright. Select map. The reason I do test too is so they all kind of show up at the end here. So there's my test spawn map. Test spawn. I always use cheat commands. It's really good for testing a map. Huge shout out to the guy that makes that. Just going to start the map. It's going to load.
Commander, we should spend our munitions.
Ranger squad. They spawned. And they're going to move to the first location. After 20 seconds, they're going to change direction. And then 20 seconds after that, they're going to spawn again. And going to keep spawning. So now it's going to the first location. Now it's going to the second location I made. And then it's going to get there. It's just going to stop and do nothing. It's waiting for me to give it more orders. And there's the second squad because I hit the loop. Now they're both going to go to the first location because remember the loop, I made the Rangers and I named them the same thing. And this is going to keep going and going and going type thing. This is one of the little things that you do for horde maps. You just make them keep on coming out, one row after another. And now they're going over. Easy. And that is the Spawn Squad playbill.